So in terms of takeaways, if you observed the media immediately after the budget, you would see that it was a very straightforward budget.
Right.
No big bang announcements, no populist measures. So it was pretty straightforward, fully focusing on, say, social spending, capital expenditure growth. So also on, say, job creation, digital economy, the building infrastructure. So these were the key focus areas for the government. Also a focus on fiscal health. So the finance minister announced that the fiscal deficit would be pegged at 3.2% for the current financial year, and at 3% of the GDP for the next 3 years. So this has also been a focus of the government to maintain financial health. So fiscal deficit is basically the gap between the income and expenditure of the government. So having said that, if you look at some of the announcements that were made, one focus was clearly on job creation, and job creation at the grassroots level.
Right.
So the finance minister made one big announcement that the micro and small and medium enterprise segment, which is called the MSME, the corporate tax rate for that segment was reduced from 30 to 25%. So which is a big enough incentive for this sector, to create jobs and grow. So he also quoted some numbers. So if you look at, if you have heard the budget speech, the finance minister said that there are about 7 lakh companies which file, their returns. And out of these 7 lakh companies, about 6.7 lakh companies fall into the MSME segment. So that's around 96% of all companies. So if this is, a big chunk, then giving them that incentive of 30, tax, reduction in tax from 30 to 25%, it's surely a big incentive. The budget also looked at taking the demonetization agenda forward.
Right.
And there were some announcements on, how the cash economy can be curbed.
Right.
So there were some announcements on those front, and also on the personal tax front, what the finance minister did was slashed the tax rate for the lowest income segment, which is the 2.5 lakh to 5 lakh segment, from 10% to 5%.
Right.
And he also gave the benefit of that 12,500 tax benefit. He also gave that same benefit of 12,500 to subsequent tax slabs.
Right.
So so this was the reduction. He also added a 10% surcharge to the income slabs of 50 lakhs to a crore. So here he has added a 10% surcharge.
Right.
So these were some of the key announcements that came from the finance minister.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.